Hello. Okay, as you can see, it's a new day. I can only zoom so much, so things are gonna break down. I'm gonna try to load up a whole bunch of videos today and keep everyone and catch up with everything. So many of you have asked me about your listening journals. I sent the syllabus, and also there is, I don't know if you can see this, I'll send it. There's a playlist. So you have a syllabus, then you have the excerpt of the syllabus, and then you have a playlist. I hope you know what's on your listening journal. Okay. So I went really fast through 4A and WC, and I understand that I went really fast through there, and you could very easily spend a semester on just one of those composers. But survey class, so we're trudging right along, and we are going to talk about Nadia Boulanger. She is not in the Kimball book. Her sister Lily Boulanger is, but Nadia is not. She wrote songs. And while she's not like known as a song composer, she's incredibly influential, and you have to know who she is because it makes the 20th century make sense. So, Ned Rorem, he was an American composer. When Nadia Boulanger died in 1979, he wrote, "So far as musical pedagogy is concerned, and by extension musical creation, Nadia Boulanger is the most influential person who ever lived." It's a big statement, and it's true. So, people talk about teachers, and then like regardless of your instrument or what you do, there's always like these like iconic teachers, and they have like these amazing studios. When it comes to amazing studios and amazing teachers, Nadia Boulanger is the GOAT. Straight up. Greatest of all time. It is the biggest studio list, the most influential. So let's just name some of her students. We'll just say right away that Gershwin tried to study with her, and she wouldn't take him as a student because she told him that he had already found his own voice and that he didn't need her and to just do exactly what he's doing. So he turned out okay. She was right. Let's see. These are just some. If you Wikipedia this, it's going to be a huge list. Huge. Let's see. So we have Aaron Copland, Daniel Barenboim, Minotti, Piazzolla, Virgil Thompson, Douglas Moore, Quincy Jones, as in Michael Jackson's Bad album. Quincy Jones studied with Nadia Boulanger. Elliot Carter, Philip Glass, and just like hundreds. So when you're traveling through music, classical, everything is very much makes sense. In the Romantic period, things start getting expanded, but romantic music also still kind of sounds romantic music, like romantic stuff. And then you get to the end of the 1800s, and Wagner does his little Tristan and Isolde stuff. Germany starts getting real crazy. Tonality starts breaking, and the pitches are emancipated. Boulanger was born in 1887, and she's really starts teaching in the early 1910s, 1920s, up through 1979. So like 50 years, basically 50, 60 years of teaching. So when she starts teaching and composing, it's the 1920s. Let's just put it that's easiest. And tonality's breaking, and the world's like, this is in between the wars. And at that point, she starts taking students, and her whole thing with students is making them find their own voice. She is not interested in teaching someone like the romantic forms so they sound romantic, or the classical forms so they sound classical. She's more like, what is your musical language? What do you have to say? So all of her students, by contrast, come out sounding very different and have all these kinds of different styles. And then you look back at the 20th century, And there's such a wide variety of music. In the classical genre, you have things that sound classical, you have the atonality, you have the weird stuff, the really esoteric stuff. Then you have like Gershwin, who's pulling in jazz, and Piazzolla, and we're dealing with Latin American rhythms. And then Stravinsky, who was her bestie. Yeah. Okay. And this all basically stems from Nadia. She was one of the first female composers. Conductors. She conducted all over the world, and she would usually conduct the music of her students. So the music that we get from the 20th century canon is a lot of her students, because she was a conductor and she put a bunch of her works on, and also like the best of the best went to her. And it was just like a Jedi training ground for composers and pianists and conductors. Let's see. Yeah, she taught out of her flat in Paris. People just came over. She had like different days, and you would want like Tuesday afternoons. That's when everyone would get together. We're going to listen to a couple of her songs. Her sister was a composer. Like I said, her sister's covered in the Kimball song. She wrote when she was younger. She quit writing. Her sister died, and she was like in mourning for the rest of her life over her sister. But she never thought that her songs were much. She's like, yeah, I can compose, but like she felt her talents were best set as like a teacher. So that's what she did. However, I enjoy her music. And when you're looking to assign French stuff, again, sometimes you can't give a younger student Debussy and then like expect them to throw it with a pianist for a 10-minute rehearsal. So we're gonna listen to two of her songs. The first is Cantique, and you have the translation. Let's see. This one's just pretty. Basically the same idea repeats, and it ends on a beautifully high floaty F. It's great. It's melodic. It's not too much French for a younger student. It's immediately enjoyable, so the audience just doesn't they can't interpret what it means. Beautiful piece. You have the music. And this is chanson. This one's a little angrier. This is like You Cut My Heart Out. I love this one. Who doesn't want to sing this? And it picks back up. It's an angry song. The one's peaceful, this one's angry. So, there you go. There's Boulanger. Like I said, her sister wrote music too. She always said her sister was a better composer than she was. I don't really... Lily's stuff, it's honestly just sits more for a lower voice. It's too low for me. I can't make anything of it. It doesn't resonate with me as much as Nadia's stuff does. So again, Nadia Boulanger is the goat of music. She is the one that kind of splintered music in the 20th century. and everyone just goes away. Like they go their own way. And so there's not some, like, I guess the only like really unique thread that holds the 20th century together is that everything's different. It's not like, oh, we do 4-bar phrases, everything's symmetrical. We're past that. Okay, and then we will move on.